Good morning. I am Dr. B. Krishna Reddy, Principal of Samarakrishna Agricultural Polytechnic, Tangelavaripalli, near Mudivedu, Tamballapalli Mandal, Chittoor district. Today, we are going to discuss second part of the second lecture in course number 153 of Diploma in Agriculture Engineering subject. This is the title of the subject Engineering Chemistry. In this engineering chemistry, we are studying various types of bonds, chemical bonds. We have already discussed two types of bonds, that is ionic bonds, and the second one is covalent bonds. Now we are going to study third type of chemical bond known as coordinate bonds or dative bonds. This is also known as dative covalent bonds also. So there are three names for it. One is coordinate bond, or it is also known as dative bond, or it can also be called as dative covalent bond. So let us see the details of this coordinate bond. It is a specific type of covalent bond in which the shared electrons are contributed by one atom only. It is also something like a covalent bond only, but it is a specialized type of covalent bond where the shared electrons, in fact in the covalent bond, what is happening? Two atoms are sharing their electrons. That means each atom of an element contributes a equal number of electrons, and thus covalent bond is formed. Here, the shared electrons are contributed only by one atom only. Kindly remember, in the coordinate bond, which is a special type of covalent bond, the sharing of electrons is done by only one atom, while the other atom accepts their sharing without contribution of the electrons. So the other atom shares these electrons contributed by the one atom without itself contributing any electrons. Thus, coordinated valency involves one-side sharing of electrons. Here this coordinated valency involves only one-side sharing of the electrons. The atom which contributes electron pair, one pair for sharing, is called the donor. So the atom which contributes the electrons pair is called donor, while the other atom which shares this is called the acceptor. Okay, the coordinate or dative bond is generally represented by an arrowhead. In the previous covalent bond, it has been represented by two arrows emanating each from each atom. Here, since there is only one atom contributing the electrons, there will be one arrow mark emanating from the atom which contributes the electrons, and it is pointed towards the atom which shares the electrons without contributing any electrons. That means, in other words, the arrow starts from the donor and ends at the acceptor. Okay, then it may be pointed out that the formation of coordinate covalent bond is possible only between an atom with an unshared pair of electrons in its valency shell and an atom or ion that needs a pair of electrons to acquire a stable electronic configuration. So, what is the condition under which these coordinate bonds, or otherwise known as coordinate covalent bonds, are forming is there should be two atoms with an unshared, that is unshared pair of electrons in its valency shell. One atom should have unshared pair of electrons in its valency shell, and an atom or ion, it can be an atom or ion, that needs a pair of electrons to acquire a stable electronic configuration. Okay. So one atom will have unshared pair of electrons. The other is in need of a pair of electrons to acquire the stable configuration. This is the precondition for formation of this coordinate bond, or also known as coordinate covalent bond. The chief difference between the coordinate bond and the covalent bond is the mode of formation. Here there is not much difference between that simple covalent bond and this coordinate covalent bond. It's only the mode of formation, that is, in the covalent bond there is a sharing of the electrons by two atoms that are involved in the reaction, whereas in this coordinate bond, though two atoms are involved, one atom only contributes the electrons and the other will not contribute, but still shares this pair of electrons. To distinguish coordinate from the covalent bond, the former is generally represented by an arrow pointing from the donor to the acceptor, while the latter by a line. So as we already discussed, the covalent bond, in the beginning we show that two arrow marks coming together, but ultimately at the end we show this bond with a line, with a solid line, whereas in case of coordinate bond it is shown as with an arrow starting from the donor atom to the acceptor atom. Okay, so covalent bond indicated by a line, L-I-N-E line, whereas the coordinate bond is represented by a arrow. Okay, then an example of coordinate covalent bond is provided by a ammonium ion. For example, for this coordinate bond or coordinate covalent bond is NH4 plus type. So it's a ammonia ion. The bonds in the ammonia molecule itself are of covalent type. If you see the ammonia, that is NH3, the bonds that exist between nitrogen and hydrogen are simple covalent bonds. One unshared pair of electrons of nitrogen atom is available for use in bond formation. In this, what happens? There are unshared pair of electrons in the outermost valency orbit of the nitrogen, and they are very much available for use in the covalent bond formation, as indicated by the readiness with which ammonia will combine with the hydrogen ion to form ammonium ion. Because NH3 is a neutral molecule, the union of hydrogen ion, that is H plus means hydrogen ion will have only proton in its nucleus. This proton get transferred, gives unit positive charge to the resulting ammonium ion. So NH4, the ammonium ion which is formed due to the contribution of proton from the hydrogen atom. So this gives the positive charge to the resulting ammonium ion. So it becomes NH4 plus. In similar fashion, water molecules combine with hydrogen ions to form hydronium ion, that is H3O plus. See, when water molecule H2O will divide into hydroxyl hydroxide ion, that is OH minus, and hydrogen ion, that is H plus. This H plus will combine with another water molecule, that is H2O, to form into H3O, which is known as hydronium ion. So these are the examples of the coordinate bonds. Then the last type of bond that has been detailedly discussed in this chapter is hydrogen bond. In case of hydrogen bonds, when the hydrogen atom is covalently bonded to a strongly electronegative and small sized atoms such as nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, the shared electron pair between the hydrogen atom and the strongly electronegative atom lies much more nearer to the electronegative atom. See, this means when the hydrogen atom and strongly electronegative but small sized atoms such as nitrogen or oxygen or fluorine come nearer and they pair. At this pair, in this pairing process, what happens is the strongly electronegative atom lies, that is between the shared electron pair between the hydrogen atom and strongly electronegative atom lies much more nearer to the electronegative atom. That is, the bonding happens very close to the electronegative atoms, that is either nitrogen, oxygen or fluorine, when compared to the hydrogen atom. This consequently results in the development of partial ionic characters in the covalent bond with a fractional positive charge on the hydrogen, because the bond happens closer to the atoms of strongly electronegative elements. So hydrogen acquires a fractional positive charge and a fractional negative charge happens in the electronegative atoms like nitrogen, oxygen or fluorine. For example, in hydrogen fluoride HF molecule, the fluorine atom acquires fractional negative charge, whereas the hydrogen atom acquires fractional positive charge. Such a molecule is said to be polar and behaves as a dipole. Okay, this type of molecule in hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen acquires negative fractional positive charge, where the electronegative atoms, that is fluoride acquires electronegative charge. Such a molecule is said to be bipolar. That means it will behave like a dipole, as if it is having two poles. Thus, when the two HFs, that is hydrogen fluoride molecules approach closely, an electrostatic attraction between the fractional positively charged hydrogen atom of one HF molecule and the fractional negatively charged fluorine atom of the other HF molecule takes place. So what happens is when two molecules of hydrogen fluoride HF come together in one HF molecule, the fractionally positive charged hydrogen atom of one HF molecule and the fractionally negatively charged fluorine atom of another HF molecules will come together. These attractive forces between H atoms of one molecule and F atoms of the other molecule leads to the formation of weak bond called hydrogen bond or hydrogen bridge. So this results in the formation of hydrogen bond, or it's also known as hydrogen bridge, which is weak in nature. This bonding is not strong. The hydrogen bond is usually denoted by a dotted line. Since it is weak, it is denoted by a dotted line. The hydrogen bond may be the hydrogen bond is usually denoted by a dotted line. The hydrogen bond may be intermolecular, that is, involving electrostatic forces of attraction between two hydrogen atoms and an electronegative element of two different molecules. For example, p-nitrophenol. That is, these hydrogen bridges or the hydrogen bonds are of two types. One is intermolecular, example is p-nitrophenol. The other one is intramolecular, that is, which involves the electrostatic force of attraction between the hydrogen atoms and an electronegative atom, but both are present in the same molecule. That means it is intramolecular in nature. Okay. Characters of hydrogen bond. The strength of the hydrogen bond varies between 3 to 10 kilocalories per mole, while that of a covalent bond is of the order of 100 kilocalories per mole. That means compared to the covalent bond, the hydrogen bond is very weak. Consequently, hydrogen bonds being weak in nature, they are rapidly formed and ruptured. Since these hydrogen bonds are very weak, what will happen? The formation, immediately after formation, they will get ruptured and disintegrate. So this is the second lesson is completed with this, and we can move on to the third lecture, which deals with the fundamentals of organic chemistry, features of organic compounds, that is mainly differences between organic and inorganic compounds. So this chapter we will deal in the next class. Thank you very much.